CS Tourism and Natural Resources Honorable Najib Balala made some sentiment that maybe there is a possibility for privatizing all national parks here in Kenya. Today we'll be engaging one of the tour operators here in Voi, maybe to share with us his sentiments. Welcome to KTN News. Kindly introduce yourself and share with us your opinion concerning this particular conversation that the CS Najib Balala is kind of proposing that we should be privatizing our national parks.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Livingstone Wakalo. I'm a tour operator based in Voi. Yes, we're happy that our CS, came up with this idea. I think before he came up with this idea, one thing I believe is that they had to sit down and deliberate on the course forward. In terms of how do we benefit, when something like this is done. Privatization, for me, one thing I know is that it is a good thing. It is a good thing because, again, we kind of get rid of what we call monopoly. Because once this thing is privatized, then it gives a big leeway in terms of also involving the community and making sure that both the private sector and the community are able at least to enjoy and be able to come to the ground and speak. I mean, how do they empower the locals? How do they empower also the county government? There are so many things that needs to be done. I think this is a subject that needs to be looked at. But I'm happy of the CS, what he said. And we are all behind him. As a tour operator, I believe this is something that will be able to, work very well. And I think there's a lot of benefit to that.
Maybe if I can ask, you are saying you are really happy about the suggestion by the CS. Don't you think maybe when the parks are privatized, someone may decide to choose maybe to increase the park fee, something like that? Don't you think at some point maybe it will affect the tourism industry?
Not really, because one thing I know is that whatever the negotiation, the talk that will be, is the private sector himself or themselves. They also need to gauge and see how do we bring these people on board, the community. And also, apart from that, the stakeholders, the players. Because when you talk about the park, I think mostly the tour operators and also the lodges. And we need a lot of input, we need a lot of lately, I can say, the park fees and, they've been really going up. And, there's been a lot of talk because like other countries, like South Africa and the rest of the other countries, when it comes to the park fee, it's not that much. But you see, when it comes to Kenya, there's a lot of, gaggle and, it's not clear, actually. But one thing I believe is that everything with that private sector, whoever is coming on board, I think for us as a tour operator is a benefit. And there's a lot that at least we are going to benefit from that.
Lastly, as we finish because of time, do you have any suggestion to the implementers of this particular suggestion of the CS if by any chance it sails through?
Yes. One thing I believe is it's going to sail through because there's a lot of stakeholders who are behind this. And like I said earlier, it's an advantage for the tour operators. But again, let's get out the tour operators where those parks are. Like here in Taita Taveta, I believe there's a lot that will come as revenues to the Taita Taveta County because we'll be able to negotiate with these private sectors, we'll be able to talk to them and be able to understand where we are coming from. I mean, we've been down for so long. So I think these are moments where everybody's yearning at least to hear and to listen and eventually to be able also to look at how do we implement these things in time. Yeah.
Do you think at some point the CS should involve all the partners, all the stakeholders, so that in doing the public participation?
Yes, I believe so. Because you see, when you bring everybody on board, public participation, people are able to gauge and see what they can do. Because everyone coming up with idea, and finally we have the last idea that is final, as we have agreed collectively that this is how we want to do it. So I believe public participation is very key and very important for this matter.
Well, many thanks. As you heard, that was the MD Voi Adventures, Mr. Livingston Wakala, sharing with us his sentiments or his views concerning this particular conversation that should all national parks be privatized, as the CS Najib Balala kind of suggested. And he is saying, yes, he is behind the suggestion, and also maybe other stakeholders also should follow the suit to ensure that maybe this county and other counties start benefiting from the national resources. Well, reporting for KTN News from Voi, I'm Hezron Kimari.
All right, it is exactly 10:53 a.m. if I'm not wrong, here on KTN News Center, meaning I need to bring KTN News Center to an end. But then, during Leo Mashinani, this is what you need to expect. Several stories making the headlines, but their focus, of course, and apart from other stories making the headlines, will be what you're seeing on your screen right now. That is the handing over of instruments of power to the 15th Chief Justice and the 3rd Chief Justice, if I may say, under the new constitution, and the first female Chief Justice here in the Republic of Kenya. That is Chief Justice Martha Koome, who took over office after he took that oath of office on Friday last week. And definitely Cecilia Keshe-Madhuva is already in studio just to give you that live coverage. As you can see, guests have already arrived, one of them being NAK Party Kenya leader, that is Martha Karua. I was about to say Martha Koome, but Martha Karua, and also Mendeloya Wanawake, chairperson there. And so definitely these are just some of the developments that Team Mashinani, developing stories that Team Mashinani will be looking at.